Ever wonder what happens when your neighborhood watchdog decides your house belongs to her? What if the woman preaching community rules tries to break into your home? And how sweet is it when the bully who weaponizes the police gets buried by her own lies? I'd spent years in the tech trenches, cleared of a bogus data leak accusation that nearly wrecked my career, and all I wanted was peace. No more false accusations, no more power-tripping suits. So when Willow Creek popped up, an estate sale in a picture-perfect suburb outside Seattle, I jumped. Cash purchase, big oak in the backyard, quiet cul-de-sac. The HOA welcome packet looked harmless, protecting property values for all. Famous last words. The first red flag waved 2 weeks after I moved in. I left my trash cans at the curb 45 minutes past the sacred 6 p.m. Cutoff.
No knock. Just a crisp typed letter from Karen Whitaker, HOA president, delivered by her husband Greg, who dropped it in my mailbox like he was planting a bomb.
$25 fine. 2.1 visual pollution. I paid it. Peace, remember? Next came the oak branch that dared to cast a 3-foot shadow over the sidewalk. Another letter. Then the grass, measured at 2:17 a.m. by Karen herself in a reflective vest, laser device glowing like she was defusing a bomb in Fallujah. Greg idled their minivan across the street, engine humming. Next morning, yellow sticker on my door. Grass height violation, Article 3, Section 6.1, $150. I watched the security cam replay later and actually laughed out loud at the sheer absurdity. This woman was out here at night with a ruler and a grudge. The mailbox was the final straw before the real insanity. Mine was plain black. Victorian birdcage on steroids. $200. Failure to replace within 14 days would trigger further sanctions. I read the 312-page bylaws that night under a single lamp, feeling like I'd joined a cult that worshipped pastel paint chips and petty cash. Then came the day everything changed. I was eating a sandwich in the living room when I saw her marching up my walkway like she owned the deed. Clipboard in one hand, shiny mystery key in the other, face puckered like she'd been sucking on lemons marinated in vinegar. Greg lumbered behind, arms crossed, smirking like a bouncer at a trailer park fight club. Karen didn't knock. To my lock and rattled it like a raccoon on meth. Nothing. She tried again, harder. Her polite mask cracked. "What in the world?" she shrieked, loud enough for the whole block. "This is a flagrant violation of Article 7, Section 4. Unauthorized modification of association-controlled property." Association-controlled? Lady, the bank and I had a different opinion. She pounded the door. Clients check for potential squatters. Then she pulled out her phone, dialed 911, and launched into Oscar-worthy performance art. "Yes, officer, there's a man barricaded inside one of our homes. He's an illegal occupant. Have every right." I let her finish. I wanted the dispatcher to hear the full crazy. From my foyer I made one calm call, not to 911, but to the dispatch supervisor I'd helped upgrade their systems for last year. Gave my name, Karen's name, the address, the fake key, the false report. "Her again," he sighed. "Stay inside." I sat on the stairs and waited, sandwich long forgotten. Outside, Karen paced like a conquering general. Greg cracked his knuckles. 2 patrol cars rolled up silent and professional. No lights, no drama. "He's in there, the squatter." She pointed at my door with theatrical fury. Officer Miller, face like he'd been born disappointed, walked straight past her. I opened before he knocked. "Peachy," I said. "Come wagon trying to evict me from my own house." Miller turned to Karen, whose triumphant smile was already curdling. "Ma'am, we need a word." Her face went blank. The second officer already had Greg separated, chest puffing, failing spectacularly against real authority. They asked Karen for proof this was association property. They asked to see the key. She sputtered about bylaws, community standards, her sacred duty. The officers weren't buying the act. I watched from the doorway as righteous fury melted into waxy panic. That key hadn't just failed to turn. It had unlocked the one thing Karen feared most: consequences. She shot me a look across the lawn that could curdle milk. Pure, unfiltered hatred. This wasn't over. It was only beginning. The silence after the police left was eerie. No letters. No midnight laser measurements. Clips. Uncle Mike called, tinfoil hat and all. Son, you poked the HOA bear. Now it's coming for your wallet. He wasn't wrong. A certified letter arrived 7 days later. $2,500 special assessment for emergency community landscaping upgrades. No explanation what the upgrades were. Tucked behind it, a neatly itemized list of every prior violation, retroactively multiplied. My $25 trash fine? Now $250. The tree branch? $500. Total owed, $4,127. Payment due in 30 days or lien proceedings begin. Signed in Karen's perfect cursive. For the good of the community. I stared at the numbers until they blurred. This wasn't enforcement. Pastel cardigans and legalese. Yellow violation stickers started appearing like weeds. One on my front door. Welcome matte color non-compliant. Brown is not on approved palette. Another tied to my garden hose. Improperly stowed. One on my windshield in my own driveway. Non-standard tire appearance. Each carried fresh $100 to $200 fines. Greg delivered them at dawn like a ghost. Neighbors suddenly found urgent reasons to look away when I waved. One guy, quiet David 2 doors down, finally whispered over the fence, "Just pay it." They threatened foreclosure on my political sign once. Cost me a grand. That word foreclosure echoed. I didn't rage. Every letter scanned. With timestamp. New cameras went up. Tiny night vision covering every inch of my property and the street. Discreet. My cybersecurity brain kicked into debug mode. The footage delivered gold. Trying the same key again on my door. Greg acting as lookout. I legally pulled public HOA records. No hacking, just open portals any resident can access. Turns out every special assessment in the last 3 years funneled money straight to her cousin's landscaping company. The same cousin who never actually did the work. And that shiny key? HOA bylaws explicitly forbid presidents from possessing master copies. She'd had 3 made illegally. I had video. Financial discrepancies. I politely requested from dispatch. I called for an emergency HOA board meeting. Packed house. Head table in her little power suit, smiling that fake sweet smile like nothing had happened. I stood up, calm, voice steady. I have a question for the board. I clicked my laptop. Screen behind me lit up with her midnight key attempt. Gasps rippled. Karen's smile froze. Context. Next slide, the financial trail. Cousin's invoices. Her signature on every check. Greg started sweating. Final slide, the police report. False 911 call. The room exploded. Fight for years suddenly found their voices. She threatened me too. My fines doubled overnight. Karen tried the usual script. Community standards protecting values, but her voice cracked like cheap plastic. The board voted her out on the spot. The state attorney general's office, tipped by the police, opened an investigation the next week for misuse of position and false reporting. Fines vanished. Rated. Karen sold her house 6 months later and moved to a condo with no HOA. Last I heard, she's president of the condo board. Some people never learn. Me? I kept the oak tree. And every time I sit on my porch watching the sunset, I smile knowing the real community won. The lesson here is simple. Never let a paper tyrant convince you your home isn't yours. Document everything, stay calm, and when they swing their fake power too hard, hand them the rope. They'll hang themselves every single time.